Aaron. Today tonight on Talking Beards, the podcast, we had probably the best guest ever. Who was our guest?
Our guest was the one and only Rutledge Wood.
That's right. You know his younger brother Elijah from that movie, The Pimp Act, which was that asteroid that crashed into the thing. That was wow. But yeah, we didn't get to ask him the questions about the Pimp Act.
There's always next time.
There is always next time. So what did we talk to him about, Aaron?
We talked to him about his older brother, Tiger. We talked to him about a few cars he's owned. And we talked to him about NASCAR. And he shared a really good story about the Kentucky Derby.
And he shared a really good story, too, about his BFF, Dale Earnhardt. Junior, because that's what they call him.
Just Junior.
Me and Junior, we went to the Super Bowls. That's what he was like. It was like, he does it every day.
Yeah, no big deal.
All
Living the life.
I know, man. Yeah. So, all right, Aaron, when are we going to check? Make sure you go over to talkingbeards.com to find out more information about it. But where and when do we need to listen to this podcast?
I mean, you could just listen to it and just stick around and let's do it right now.
Welcome to the Talking Beards podcast, an entertainment news show all about the world of facial hair. You can catch the show live every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern by going to talkingbeards.com. While you're at the website, you can check out all the other cool things that we do. We cover the latest news going on in the beard and mustache world, from competitions, contests, fundraisers, and all the charity work. We also have special guests each week talking about what they're doing to make a difference in the facial hair world. We also do trivia each week with really great prizes, compliments of Honest Amish. So make sure you tune in every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. at talkingbeards.com. Now let's get on with the show.
So tonight we have a very normal guest. He's not very special.
He's not even a guest.
He's not even a guest anymore. Now he just comes in whenever he wants. So he is. I'm going to introduce him.
And guess what? He's also wearing a nice jacket.
Look at
I saw what you guys were doing, and then I was like, all right, I got one too. Let me center. I got one too. Look at this. Nice and yellow. Talking beards. Where am I? Nope, this side.
There it is. Boom. Oh,
Boom.
Yeah, I got to do the same thing.
That whole camera thing, it really... Oh, I didn't get the Honest Amish memo.
There.
Yeah. I was this close.
So we have Matt McClear from beardlaws.com. Sorry. I was busy looking at a whole bunch of other stuff, but...
Where am I from?
Yes. So, okay, real quick.
Upstate New York.
Get into the news. What is going on?
Good evening. I did the paper thing.
That's what news
I'm Matt.
do.
This is your Talking Beard News brought to you by Beard Laws. I did not sell any of my record during these times. I know last week a couple of people were concerned that my records were gone. Maybe I was going through some hard times. Just want to clear that all up. I'm in the new studio. Hopefully it's not as echoey as the last time that we did this. New studio, new look. Just want to get that out of the way. But as mentioned last week on Beard News, Talking Beard News, that news articles that are kind of beard related are a little bit tougher to come by, but not even this little virus is going to stop us to come to you with some pretty cool news, but a little bit different of a kind of a news. Last week was educational. This week we're going to do something a little different. One thing that keeps popping up on all of my news feeds throughout all of these are beards. So apparently I either search beard related content a little too much or Google truly is always listening. Probably a little bit of both.
A little bit of both, yep.
A little bit of both.
Yeah, probably more Google, but
you're Google.
One thing I find truly amazing is the amount of people that are growing their beards out because of the events that are happening around us, calling them quarantine beards. I have often found that many men, when given the slightest chance or excuse, tend to grow the beard out. Why they need this chance or why they need this excuse is beyond me, but regardless, our bearded community is growing, and it's growing with some pretty big names. For instance, Will Smith has been all over social media rocking the salt and pepper beard. There's been apparently a lot of negative comments.
That's fake. That's fake news. Sorry. Continue.
It's fake news? I saw something on his Twitter. Was it old?
Oh, go ahead.
I don't know.
Yeah, it looked pretty news. Pretty good news.
It's real, Scott.
Shut up.
Let me check with my research guy real quick. It's good. Okay, cool. Yeah, research guy says it's good. He was quoted saying, "I don't know why y'all act like surprised. I've been rocking a beard forever." The clip in that Instagram or Twitter feed actually had a montage of him rocking a beard in, Men in Black, Bad Boys, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and The Pursuit of Happiness. He also posted a video on Instagram saying, "Who else letting their beard grow out?" showing off his. Ben Roethlisberger, quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, also released a picture of his massive beard, and the internet does what the internet does. Started making memes and comparing him to several big bearded references, and they're pretty hilarious. Dov Kleiman, I guess, on Twitter. He's an NFL reporter. He was having a good time with this, did a whole bunch of memes, so you guys can check that out. And a lot of the headlines actually reacted to Big Ben's beard, described it as insane, massive, caveman, you name it. So another big beard that joined our bearded community. And LeBron James posted saying he looks like Tom Hanks in Castaway after growing out his quarantine beard. Personally, I think it was a bit of an overreaction, kind of like when he tried to copyright Taco Tuesday. It's one of my favorite things, LeBron, so don't ruin it for me. I need my Taco Tuesdays. But the sun.co.uk did an article recently of something that I wanted to do, but they beat me to the punch. They took a handful of famous celebrities and put beards on them, saying this is how they will look with bushy beards and after being quarantined. They show a couple, as they say, football stars and put some nice-looking beards on them. Paul Pogba is rocking a big red beard. Ronaldo's rocking a nice little beard. My personal favorite is Moran Fellaini and his longer style beard.
Doesn't even look real.
Others, as he's showing right here. That one's pretty good, right?
No, it's not. It looks really fake.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it's not even real, it would be nice.
Looks like your beard. Point. Not saying that your beard looks fake.
Yeah, but it's a full beard, so it's nice, right? Automatically gets one extra point.
Full beard, so it's pretty dumb.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking some celebrities and I'm going to be posting on the BS button with some of these celebrities that I choose with beards, just to show how much better they would look if they had a beard. Hopefully it puts some smiles on some people and helps, fill the void of everything that's going on. So if you want any certain celebrities with a beard, feel free to post or contact us. And I'm even going to try to put a full beard on Aaron and Scott. What do you guys think?
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
No.
Yeah, fine, I won't do it.
Go keep
back to you, Scott and Aaron.
Thank you, Matthew.
That last part was false news. I'm not going to do it.
Matthew. Yeah, thank you, Matthew.
All right, everyone go to beardlaws.com, check out what's going on, and we need to get moving along. So thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a good show.
Ciao.
All right. See you, Matt. All right. Are you ready?
No.
Oh.
I'm never ready.
We'll just wait then.
If you're ever ready, I'm free to lay. Did you ever hear that joke?
All right. Well, without further ado, from just right up the road in Georgia from me, I mean, super far for you because you're all the way in Ohio, basically Canada.
I am pretty much Canada.
Yeah. But I'm pretty much, a neighbor of Georgia at this point in time. So from NASCAR on NBC, he was a former co-host on Top Gear America, and he was the host of Hyperdrive on Netflix. The one and only Mr. Rutledge Wood.
What's up, fellas? How you doing?
What is going on, sir? How you doing tonight?
Man, I'm great. Thanks for having me. Matt crushed it with the news.
He always does. I mean, you know that because you watch every week, so you remember. Yeah, of course.
I feel a tiny bit bad. I don't know if I have the shortest beard that's ever been on the show. Maybe like second or third shortest. But Matt's has such of a quantity and a quality, as you guys obviously know. You've really written the book on that. But I just felt like his beard news was top of the charts.
He does.
That's what he does. He tops the charts with beard news.
Oh, I forgot.
What a treat, man! Thank you, fellas, for having me on. This is really exciting.
Thank you. This is how we do interviews now. I have to aim it to you.
You've got your more serious stick mic vibe. Now now it's kind of transitioning from entertainment to hard-hitting journalism.
Yes. So that's what you do with hard-hitting journalism. You have long, skinny mics.
And we punch them.
Well, yeah, obviously. Really? Hard-hitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what you should do,
So that's the first question. Have you ever punched anybody during an interview?
I've not. I mean, there were some people in that other Top Gear that punched people over cold cuts, but they got fired. So
Yeah. You learned from them.
Yeah, we learned a lot. It's funny. I've never had an interview where I've been attacked or wanted to attack the other person. Probably I'm really lucky that, if I'm holding the mic and I'm going to, either for NASCAR and NBC or some of the other fun stuff, like you mentioned, Hyperdrive, all the stuff I get to go to are really, really fun events. I will say the closest I've ever been to holding a microphone to a fight was at the Kentucky Derby the very first time I went. Have either of you ever been to the Kentucky Derby?
I have not been to the Kentucky Derby. I'm from Kentucky, but I've never been up there. We've got a buddy, Gary Faulkner. He's got a big long beard, and he paints it pink and stuff like that. And I think
he wears
was
a hat
there
too. He wears
last
a hat.
year. Yeah, he was there last
Scott,
year, the year before.
The hat, Scott, is a huge component. What I will say is, if you've never been to the Kentucky Derby, imagine the craziest college party you've ever been to, but everyone is dressed up like a 1940s fashion show, just housed, absolutely wasted. And this British guy wearing a bow tie came up to me. It's also, y'all know, I wear like a pearl snap shirt if I'm at a race and jeans. Like, I never wanted to be like, oh, I wear khakis, so you should listen to me. Like, that was not my scene. And when I went to NBC, they were like, so what can you do? I was like, I can go anywhere and talk to anyone about anything. They said, okay, what can't you do? I was like, I can't wear khakis, and I can't wear
That's it. That's where I draw the line. I'm not wearing khakis.
100%. This was in my initial interview. They're like, that's what you can't do. I was like, I can't do it. So I had to wear this goofy suit, and my friends at Shinesty, y'all have seen, they make some incredible suits. And so they make me these custom suits every year for the Derby. And this British dude, wasted with a bow tie, comes up and tells me that Top Gear is the worst and you're ruining the show. And he gets in my face. We have security guards because we had to be in the infield and everyone knew it was going to be a crap show. But they're like, do you want us to throw him out? And I was like, no, he's not going to remember this tomorrow. But then I looked at the security guys. I was like, I just want y'all to know this is the closest. He wasn't trying to swing on me, but if he had gotten another foot closer, he would have. But security stopped him, and they're like, well, I mean, what are you going to do? I was like, let's just universally, let's never take crap from people in a bow tie. But I got a story to tell. We got to go. And he took off, but good times. Pat, what a beard he's got.
It's actually two beards. He shaves his chin, and so it's actually two beards because he thinks two beards is better than one. But it actually, Chops is stupid.
Fair enough. Is this where I should answer that question from Pat?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Great question. Pat wanted to know if there going to be a Hyperdrive Season 2. Loved the first season. Pat, thank you for watching. It is the coolest show I've ever been a part of in motorsports. And Aaron, you were so nice to mention it. If people don't know, Hyperdrive is on Netflix. It is like Top Gear meets American Ninja Warrior. We got 28 people from all over the world that shipped their own cars in a shipping container and showed up and met them a month later in Rochester, New York. We set up this insane track. And just like on Ninja Warrior, every time you progress to the next round, it gets harder and harder, and no one knows what's coming. Hyperdrive is just like that. And it is the wildest thing I've ever been a part of. So I haven't heard yet if we're going to do a season 2. I really hope we will. And this feels like a great time for people to watch stuff since we're all just sitting at home, most of us at least. So I hope that everyone watches because it would be so cool to do it. I've had a lot of professional drivers say well, why don't you get me on there? We can try. I was like, yeah, let's do a pro celebrity one where you pair somebody, Jimmy Johnson, the NASCAR driver, with, somebody from TV, Dak Shepard, who's doing the new Top Gear, whoever. I just think it would be so cool. So, Pat, thanks for watching.
So season 2, it's just going to be all professional drivers. Breaking news right here on Talking Beard.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be.
Scott's doing the breaking news thing. Yes.
That is the breaking news thing right there.
Breaking news. Talking Beard just broke it right here. We're going to sell it right to TMZ as soon as the episode's
And you're going to let me come on there with my FJ Cruiser.
That would be awesome.
I just can't get it to drift.
Well, I can help you with that. Tire pressure is key, and then we need to just change. Is yours a 2-wheel or 4-wheel drive?
4.
4. Good. Oh, you're in Ohio.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's an insulting question.
So 4.
I mean, for the record, you need a 4-wheel drive in Ohio in the summer because the potholes are the worst in the nation.
They are, sir. Yes,
I was on a
correct,
hot
sir.
rod power tour there years ago in my 49 Chevy step van, and the roads are so bad that they broke my gas tank straps, and I lost my fuel tank coming down. I don't know if that's 95. I don't know what
Route 90.
Yeah. Unbelievable. The shower of sparks. We didn't set it on fire. We stopped soon enough. Had to go to a Lowe's and ratchet strap that up. But man, what a place. Good times though. Love Ohio.
Yeah, it's a good place to live. Aaron, next question. I'm sure you have a really good question for him.
Yeah, I've got like 10, but I know we're not going to get through them all. How did you get started with like NASCAR interviewing and stuff? I know you didn't start out on NBC, but
No,
how'd you get your start?
I went to the University of Georgia and I studied marketing because when I went there, that was the most non-specific business major. Like it's basically just talking to people, and general business was gone at that time. So I knew I had to do something. And I worked for Country Music Television for a year, traveled all over the country for them. And I kept trying stuff, and I knew I wanted to be on TV, and I knew I wanted to talk about cars and people. But it was a Craigslist ad that a year and a half after school that I saw, and it said it was a National Motorsports Network looking for a person who could be an on-site marketing rep and an MC for all these shows, and turned out to be for the Speed Channel. So I started in 2005 as like a glorified T-shirt tosser, and I would ride around on a golf cart, and I would tell fans, hey, here's when the shows are, come join us. And I kept telling them, hey, I really want to be on air. And they're like, all right, we'll see. Maybe we'll give you a shot next year. And they did. A guy named Chris Long, we called him Muscles, gave me a shot, and sort of the rest was history. It worked. People liked it. And then a race fan, the crazy thing, Top Gear found me because a race fan, who I still don't know who it was because it got taken down, loaded up a bunch of the clips that I had done for Speed Channel onto YouTube illegally because Speed Channel didn't think that the internet was going to be a thing. Bless their hearts. Rest in peace.
They were right. I don't think this internet thing is going to take off at all.
That's cute.
Me either.
Yeah.
It's really something.
Gotta miss the Speed Channel, though.
I know. I miss it. It was so awesome. NBC Sports has done a great job at grabbing every cool motorsport thing. So I think we're taking over in that way. But yeah, this person loaded up all this stuff, and a person who ended up being our executive producer, a guy named John Hessling, was watching YouTube for everybody that had been on TV for cars in like the last 10 years in the U.S. And he saw something I did with John Schneider from the Dukes of Hazzard. And I refused to call him John. I only called him Bo, and spent most of the interview asking him questions about Daisy. And
Smart.
Turns out the guy was like, this guy's funny. Maybe we should talk to him. And then that's how I ended up with Top Gear.
I have a question for you.
Please.
Yeah. There we go. These are going to be great. These are really, really cutting edge questions from Scott.
I hope it's 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck.
Pretty much. But my first question is, did your family push you in the same direction as your older brother, Tiger, to and are you regretting that you didn't make the decision to also play golf?
You know what? I knew the Tiger had all the talent because he's a forest, right? He is woods, whereas I'm a single tree wood. I just knew I didn't have the backing. You know, I knew I didn't have what it was going to take to make it.
I wasn't aware of maybe that you just took the S off because you were jealous of his success and you didn't want to be related.
Yes.
All right.
Well,
okay.
if I didn't know we were going to get that deep, yes, that's exactly what happened. What happened was, you know, Dad was like, "Hey, you boys want to go to the golf course?" And I was like, "Yeah." Are there golf carts? And Tiger was like, "Are there golf clubs?" And so we kind of went our different directions.
I see. Okay, this is a good.
So,
answer.
did you drive the golf cart for Tiger when he got his start, or?
Yes, and then I realized that everyone else on the tour walked, and I was like, "Not me, big guy's taking off." And ironically, I live in a town that is built on 3 golf courses, and there's 100 miles of golf cart path where I live in Peachtree City, Georgia. And so I have a club car 4-seater, 5-seater with seatbelts.
He's so rich.
And that's what we take our daughters to school on that. We can go to the grocery store, the bar,
awesome.
Anything. You can take a golf cart. Good research, Scott. I like your style.
Hey,
Great
thank you.
question.
I got a couple more good ones. So just wait.
Yeah, they're hard hitting questions. I kind of always wondered when you did like the Toyota the pro race.
Yes.
Did they give y'all very much lap time, or they just give you scions and tell y'all just to go for it?
Okay, legitimately, the Toyota Pro Celebrity Race is the coolest thing I've ever been a part of. I flew with the Thunderbirds, and I thought, this is unbelievable. How do you top this? And then I got invited to go do the Toyota Pro Celebrity Race. So it was at Long Beach, which you'd race through like downtown. And the cool thing for me is that Pro Celebrity Race was one of the only races as a kid that I saw and I understood, because it was people that you knew from TV and movies racing cars that you actually saw on the street. So for me, growing up in Birmingham, you're like, we didn't see stock cars riding around. I knew who, like Ari Lyondike and Mario Andretti were, but I didn't see any of those cars. But when you see Jay Leno in a Celica racing, you're like, oh, this looks really cool. And so I always said, like, one day I'm going to make it. I'm going to be in there. And I got invited in 2012. And they take you up to this school that Dan McKeever has called Fast Lane up at Willow Springs, which is another legendary track. And they teach you a ton of stuff. Now, I was doing Top Gear at the time, so I was a pretty decent driver, but I was also really nervous about being the guy on a current television show about cars and racing and then wrecking out.
So much pressure on you.
Oh, dude, you have no idea. Like, I line up with Adrian Brody, right?
Never heard of him.
And at the time I was like, this guy, he's kind of weird, interesting cat. But then I found out that he has a first generation Ford Lightning and a Grand National, and I was like, oh, he's legit. This guy's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Aaron, he rode in a car with a cat.
Oh, right. Like,
what?
Just pianist. He was awesome. Brody Jenner. There's all these people out there. So the first year, it's a front wheel drive Scion TC. And I qualified 4th and I finished 5th because I didn't want to wreck out. I was really smart about stuff. It was a wreck fest whole time. So I was like, please let me come back next year. So 2013, they moved to the Scion FRS. Not only did I win the pole and I won, People Magazine did an award. So I got Victory Junction, this amazing camp, right? Victory Junction got $15,000 for me winning the pole. And that's an amazing camp in North Carolina, started by my friend Kyle Petty in honor of his son Adam Petty. But then I also won the race, which meant I got to come back in 14 as a pro. I begged him to let me come back as 15. Someone dropped out. I was able to. And then 16 was like a best of because it was the last year of the title sponsor. So I did it 5 years in a row, and just the coolest thing I've ever gotten to do.
Yeah, they were always really fun to watch. It was just like you said, it was just absolutely a wreck fest. So,
Completely.
Someone in the chat, Josh Barney, wanted to know, what is your best or most favorite car you have ever driven?
Ooh, that's a tough one. We got to drive so many cool things on Top Gear. One of my favorites, two favorites from the show that I ended up buying cars of, was the 96 Buick Roadmaster station wagon.
I freaking love that thing.
3 rows for more bros. I think that's what they say.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Yeah, just in case someone else is watching this, that's what they say. That car is incredible. The Cadillac CTSV wagon, which I ended up getting one of those. A fan stopped me leaving the Summer Olympics in Brazil in 2016, and I've been there for like a month. I don't know my name at this point. And this guy's like, "Hey, I bought my car because of you." It's a midnight 30 a.m. flight, and I'm like, "Oh, cool, man, cool." And then I'm like, "You got to ask him." I was like, "Hey, what kind of car was it?" He's like, "Oh, I got a CTSV wagon." I was like, "Oh, good for you." He said, "Yeah, but I just leased it." And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah, I got to turn it in next month." "How many miles are on there?" He's like, "I don't know, 36." what color is it? White? I was like, yeah. Can I get your email? And he was like, sure. So I got that guy's email and ended up buying the car from Hendrick that sold it to him. But of ones that blew my mind and just made no sense, the Bugatti Veyron Grand Sport Vitesse, I think was the one I drove. That car it was hard to process in your mind the amount of acceleration when you buried your foot, and it took just a second, and then you were gone so quickly that your mind is like, wait, what? Where is everyone going? There's a shot where I pass a Ford Explorer and the camera car was next to me, and the look on the person's face in the Ford Explorer explains all, because it's like Back to the Future. A car's here and now it's just vanished and you can't see it anymore. That's what that car is like.
It's the flux capacitor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Bugattis are known for their flux capacitors.
They flux.
Well, I don't know if you know, Mr. Bugatti was actually standing on a toilet hanging a clock, and that's how he fell.
Wow.
And he got the vision.
For the Bugatti?
We watched Back to the Future 1 and 3 this week with our daughters. We didn't get 2, and you're probably wondering why not 2. Well,
because 2 sucked.
Well, yes and no. Yes, there's far too many similarities for right now to get into about 2 of our current times, so you can't dig in. But 1 was $4 and 3 was free on Netflix. 2 you had to buy for $14, and I was like, y'all have done this all wrong. I'm not doing it.
My wife wants to know, what's your favorite Back to the Future movie?
Okay, so that's a tough one. I mean, one is everything. That y'all know, the Toyota pickup in 1985.
Oh my God,
that truck!
I want that truck,
dude. That thing is so awesome.
That moment absolutely shaped my life, right?
Yep.
And luckily for so many of us, we're like, oh, well, these trucks look really cool. And then turns out they're bulletproof and they're still on the road. And you're like, oh, no, these trucks were legit. But 3 is so good and so dynamic. I remember when, at the time, 2 seemed amazing, but 2 turns out as dark as hell. So I'm going to say 1, 3, then 2. But the hoverboard's legit. Let's give him credit. And those Air Maxes, the Air Mags, as the sneakerhead too. Oh gosh.
How many pairs of shoes do you think you have?
That's none of your business. I'll tell you right now. No,
I have 60.
Jesus.
Oh, okay, yeah. I bet I'm around there.
You guys are like Imelda Marcos.
Scott, it's hard to explain. I think it was because every kid that I went to elementary school with, we were like one street in the good neighborhood, but we were like the Clampetts, and every kid that I went to school with had Jordans and all this other stuff, and I didn't own a pair of anything cool like that until I was probably a senior in high school, maybe working. Too. And yeah, so I was like, oh, I got to get these, and now you're like, oh, this is like crack for adults. Like it's ridiculous. I got a new pair today. Some Air Max 90s are my favorite. Jordan 4s and then Jordan 3s after that. But Air Max 90 Undefeateds, which is a cool sneaker shop in LA. And they have a couple other ones now. But I was like so jazzed about that. It's such a moment of euphoria. And then you're like, no one's going to see me wear these for the next month at least. Okay, cool.
You have social media. I mean, you're on Talking Beards tonight. There's 54,000 people watching you right now. You could have been wearing them right now.
I should have. You know what I'm wearing? This is how dorky I am and how much I'm into sneakers. Scott, Aaron will appreciate this. These are my Air Max 90s, but these are my house shouse. They've never been outside because I bought them and spilled something on them the first day in the house.
I can't wear these outside.
Yeah, I can't. They're all white. I'll just wear them inside. So I've washed them like 3 times, put insoles in them. I love them. They're like my house slippers.
That's awesome. I just have a bunch of pairs of Sanooks mostly.
Oh, those are cool.
Yeah, they're like they got like yoga mats for bottoms.
Oh yeah,
you're a yoga mat, Aaron.
They're super freaking comfortable.
Your face is a yoga mat, Aaron.
It is basically. Do you still have that the Civic wagon? It was like the early 80s, like 83. I thought that car was freaking awesome.
It's not as cool as your Subi wagons, so let's give credit where credit's due.
Hey, I'm just trying to rebuild it.
Do you still have that Coca-Cola sign behind you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So dumb.
You're stupid. You shut up. That was a good question, Aaron.
Your face is a Coca-Cola.
He just got rid of that Coca-Cola
He said your
sign.
face is a Coca-Cola sign, Aaron. Take
He
that.
was talking to you.
No.
Yeah.
He said
it's
Aaron.
Yeah, the Civic wagon was really funny. I bought that because I wanted to build like a. I've always been into imports. I wanted to build a kind of like airport beater car, and I got it. Started working on it. I really wanted to do an S2000 swap and make that wagon rear wheel drive because it had leaf springs in the back, so I knew I could fit like a Toyota pickup rear end under it. And then I realized like that'd be a great way to hose away $15,000. I don't have anybody to do that. So I bought my friend's Integra for $800, pulled the swap out of it, and sold the shell for $600. And then had another friend, my buddy Charles, who had a shop at the time called Mainstream. He put it all together. We painted it, and then it ended up being nicer than the car I was trying to avoid driving to the airport. So it turned out really fun. That was a good car. It's somewhere. I hope it's being loved wherever it is.
That was a cool car. I like the green plaid interior. That was a excellent touch.
Thank you. Dan wanted to know if I ever finished my wife's Land Cruiser. Yeah, she's got an '85 FJ60
What color?
that I drove around with my friend Damaris. It's like that desert tan color.
Ooh, that's nice.
4-speed. It's a 60, so it's got it's an 85. It's got maybe 145,000 miles on it, which is a baby for those. But I love it. It has working air conditioning. We drove it for that was a picture car for Southern and Hungry, which is a show I did that my buddy Guy Fieri produced. We did 2 seasons of that, and it was really fun.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, sweet guy.
You tasted him? Jeez.
Yes.
He wasn't salty.
Hey, flavor count.
Salty.
He's like, bam! Right? That
Yeah,
guy?
exactly. That's what you do when you cook things.
He's like,
That's Emerald that does BAM.
oh, I thought it was
No,
the guy that
he-
throws the spices
Oh,
like this.
Emerald does that with the.
The Salt Bay? Yeah, also not him. But these are great. We're getting
Oh.
We're going to whittle this down.
I bet they were all the same guy.
The guy that was on Double Dare. God.
Yeah.
I met him, Mark Summers, by the way.
Did you say physical challenge? I would have.
As soon as I met him, I was like, I'll take the physical challenge.
Did you dump
I
slime
met
on him?
Mark Summers. He had no slime. There was no. I did pick his nose and try to pull a flag out.
Wow.
And he was like, "This. It's not the first time this happened to me.
It's not the first time. Yeah.
I met him out there with Guy at Guy's Grocery Games because he was a judge for one of them, and I was like, "Sir, I don't want to seem starstruck, but you're the biggest deal I've ever seen." He was like, "It's great to meet you too. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you watching. Bye bye."
Thank you. Goodbye. Yeah,
He's amazing.
Aaron, can I ask the next question?
yeah go ahead.
Okay. All right. Question number 2. Have you ever met NASCAR legend Dale Earnhardt Jr., whose fans affectionately call Junior? And part 2 of that question, is he more handsome in real life than he is on TV in a car? And go ahead, sir. Thank you.
Oh, great question, Scott. Thank you so much for that. Yes, I have. I have met Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Junior, we
gem
call him.
of a guy. Junior, as they call him, Junebug. Ralph is what his wife calls him, trying to get his attention, which is funny. Amy's really fun. Junior and I, it's funny. We were not close at all when he was in the car, and I usually wasn't sent to go interview him because he's always had people he's like a little bit tighter with. But we have become good friends, and he's an awesome guy. We went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and ended up like ice fishing. It was -17 out. And you can bond together with a lot of people when it's that cold. We went and played broomball, broom ball is like hockey for drunk people that can't skate. And it was the greatest sport I've ever played. We keep threatening to go back and like take our friends at some point. So, but Junior, legitimately, even more handsome out of the car. So
Ooh.
Great. Yeah, great question.
I hear that the car adds 15 pounds to him.
Really? I heard that Nomex cologne, which is what they call the sex appeal that a race car driver has because their flame retardant suit is made of Nomex, is a real thing, and I can tell you it absolutely is.
See? I told you, Aaron. You didn't believe me before I told you that.
Man, I shouldn't have doubted you.
Dig 'em.
He was telling me like 15 pounds. I'm like, no, more like 25.
Exactly.
They'll lose like 12 pounds of fluid in a race, which is fascinating. But
That is wild. How many pounds of fluid do you lose during a race?
I usually am double fisting waters just to get through the race because most of the races during the summer run of NBC, we hold them on the surface of the sun. So it is
Pretty smart.
like we used to go to Fontana, aka Fontucky, out in Southern California for like Labor Day, I think it was. It was like 110 one year, and they were.
I think he melted.
He froze.
He froze. Yes, this mic does work, in case you were wondering.
Yeah, so hopefully we get Rutledge back. So
Let's just stop and look at him. Look at him for a while.
He's just thinking really hard right now. Shannon Chicken Bread wanted to know why you were holding a mic towards him.
Because we're interviewing him.
Dork. Exactly. That's what you do when you interview someone. You hold a mic towards them.
And that's right. I bet you if you watch him on TV, he does the same thing.
He's holding a mic and then he holds it towards people. You know, that's what you do. So
and he also wears a suit jacket too. That's why we're wearing suit jackets. Because
that's what broadcasters do. They wear suit jackets. So, hopefully we get Rut back. If not, then that was a pretty productive episode.
The best one
interviews.
was
I've got like 900 more questions, so maybe he'll come back. But he probably did that on purpose because he was done.
He didn't want any more of your questions. He liked my questions better.
He did. Mine were actual questions, and he wanted to answer your stupid questions.
Squeeze me. Mine were actual questions that he had actual answers for.
He did.
And that was the best part, was he had legitimate answers for my questions.
Yeah, and he was ready to answer them. So.
Well, thank you, Rutledge, for joining us. We greatly appreciate you taking the time out of your busy evening tonight. We, like we said, we had a few more questions to ask you, but we appreciate the time you did give us. So thank you very much for your time. I know it's very valuable. And
he said he's trying to come back.
Ooh.
So we'll see.
Then we'll have to interview him again.
Yeah, then we'll just start over from the first question.
Yes. Okay, what was it again? We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Talking Beards podcast. You can find out more information by going to talkingbeards.com. There you can subscribe to the podcast, make a donation to our show, or pick up some really cool Talking Beards merchandise. We hope to see you in the chat room. You can find us over at facebook.com/talkingbeards if you want to participate in our chat. Thank you again for checking the show out, and we hope you have a great week. Make sure you come back next week at 8 p.m. on Tuesday evening to watch the show live. Until next time, thanks.